everybody, and welcome to Hope TV. We're so excited that you're here, and it's a pleasure and a privilege you've tuned in. Man, we're so thankful for you guys for being a part with us. You've been rolling with us since March of 2020. Can you believe that?
Over a year.
It's crazy, man. And here we are in May 2021. This is another season of our presentation of our shows and episodes, and it's crazy. We just thought we'd be doing this for a few months. And here we are, 13 months later, still going, 14 months almost, going strong. And you've been a blessing. So everybody who's tuned in from Apple TV, Roku TV, Twitch, Amazon, we got Facebook, YouTube, Instagram Live, and 3 different websites. Man, can you believe that? So it's crazy. So we're excited. We've had over 100 million, well over 100 million views of our content. And man, we're excited. So everybody who's watching, thank y'all for being a part. I mean, everybody all over the world, from our hometown, Macon, Georgia. What's up, 478? To people in Zimbabwe, Asia, Africa, South America. We've been watching the Caribbean, and we're excited. So welcome. If you're watching through a platform that will allow you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share of any of the platforms, please do so. We love to have you to help share it. When you do that, you help our algorithms, our social media algorithms, and our social media engagements. So please help us get the word out. And when you hit that share button, that's very important because it helps us to get other people. If you share it to one person watches it, hey, we've doubled the platform that quickly. So please help us do it. Anything you want to say to people as we open?
No, thank you always for tuning in.
Yeah, we're excited today. This is Marriage Matters. It's probably one of the top shows now. We have over 30 shows that we're offering on a weekly basis. That's amazing. We're adding 2 new shows this season. One, a cooking show with Keith, and with the Gospel Music Lounge. We got a gospel music showcase now that we're offering. So just amazing. So welcome everybody. This started really in March of 2020 as something we're doing for the Women's Week, the week before quarantine started. And Andre and the women collaborated. We came together and did something. And can you believe that will lead to this? It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So we're here and we're excited. We have a couple here today that's very, very special to us, and we're not gonna hold you very long. Without any further ado, we got some special conversation tonight. A couple that we hold dear to us and been a blessing to our lives and our ministry. And we want to welcome tonight to the show the McDonalds. We got Larry and Alicia McDonald. What's up, fam? How y'all doing?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey.
Yeah, welcome. Glad to have y'all. Good to see y'all. I hadn't seen you in a while. No pandemic got us shut down, but good to see y'all. Hopefully y'all can put something on the grill when this pandemic is over. We love to be y'all's guests.
Gotcha. We got you.
So we're going to start off like we always do with every show. We always ask, of course, ladies first, because we know, God loves the truth.
Yeah.
And he knows it's going to come from the ladies. So
ask Eve that.
Okay, so Alicia, tell us how you guys met and how, Jake just wouldn't leave you alone, so you finally gave in to him.
Okay, so we met at Dillard's department stores in Macon, Georgia. Jake had just moved from Florida, and he was the new dock manager when the store first opened. I don't know if y'all remember that, but Dillard just come to Macon, and he was the dock manager at that time. So he's like the first person that you see when you come in, when you enter in to clock in. So I checked him out, as I was clocking in. I spoke to him every morning or whatever, and he was checking me out too, but he just didn't want to let me know. But I just started speaking to him every day, and when he would call upstairs to let us know that he was going to lunch, like I worked in I was cash operations specialist. So when the operator used to go to lunch, I used to watch the phone for her. So he would call and he would let me know, I'm going to lunch. So I just, maybe after 3 or 4 times, I was like, so when are you going to take me to lunch? And I guess the rest is history.
I like it.
No, she left out some things. So
Jake, Jake, I've known Alicia all her life, and so
here we go.
I know that's just half the story.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
I appreciate her telling. I think she told herself a little bit. She like most of us. She told herself a little bit, but
Mhm.
I want you to give me the real, the dirt, the nitty gritty. I want you to give me the detailed version. Give me the Florida version of the story. Let me hear it from you.
Okay, so how it really went down. You know, the way like she said, everybody came through the back door. And my desk kind of sat there. I was like watching. I could see everybody come in and out the door. So yeah, she used to come through and she used to be checking me out. And after a while, she had a coworker, an older lady that worked up there with her, who she sent downstairs to my desk and said, Alicia wants you to take her to lunch. And I was like, whoa. I was like, no, you don't remember that, do you?
No,
Yeah,
but I did ask you on the operator. I don't remember that one. But
Okay.
I trust
She came down and she said, Alicia wants you to take her to lunch. So yeah, at first I was like, oh, and then I told her, I was called up and said, I'm going to lunch. And then she said, well, when you going to take me to lunch? I said, well, you can go with me now. And so we went to this Mexican restaurant that was down the street from the mall.
Go on and tell it. You know you want to tell it. Go on and tell it.
I guess she wasn't used to going into an authentic Mexican restaurant. So she ordered a taco salad. She thought she was getting a taco salad from Taco Bell. So I had to explain to her this is a real Mexican food here. So yeah, because she couldn't eat none of it. After that, it just grew from there. She just even the store manager knew it. He was like, "Ooh, I think Alicia has something for you. She has her eye on you." So I was like, "Oh no, I'm good." But
So listen, for all of our single ladies that are watching this show, it's okay to make the first move. See what resulted from Alicia making that first move?
I've been said all the time. Listen, if you kind of shy, if you watching, you're singing, you kind of shy to make that first move, go find an old lady who don't mind talking for you and put her up to do the work for you. That's all you gotta do. Find somebody intercede for you. Hey, he can't. What are you gonna tell the old lady no? He can't tell the old lady no. So that's smart. That's straight. That's East
wisdom.
Macon. That's straight East Macon. That's East Macon genius. And my sister knew how to pull that sucker in, and she pulled it in. So to God be the glory. Whoever the old lady is, God bless you. They owe you lunch. Yeah,
I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Really.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
A lot of times it's easy to attach your identity to something you do or somewhere you work because you don't like who you are.
In regards to getting to know who you are, one piece that people have to really be ready to is look at themselves honestly. A lot of times we want to sell ourselves an idea of ourselves rather than who we really are.
How long did you all date before you got married?
What it was, because I know I was in Macon for a year and then I went back to Florida. So and I was in,
almost 4 years.
it was about 4 years.
Almost 4
Because
years.
I was in Macon for like a year and a half, a year and a half, a little over a year, and then I transferred and I went down to Macon to open up another store. Went down, not Macon, but Orlando.
So let me ask you
And-
this. So with the long distance relationship, how did that work? Like dating, the long distance thing.
She was glad to get on that road to come see me. I couldn't keep up.
We flew. I flew
Yeah.
a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of in a new part of Orlando, Oviedo. It was just starting to grow. It wasn't much out there, so. But I think we would come about maybe once a month, or once.
Yeah, we would.
Something like that, because I was.
I would come, or he would come at least once a month.
Okay.
So y'all was serious. So by the time he moved to Florida, y'all pretty serious. By the time he moved to Florida,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah,
So Jake, how did you know? How did you know she was the one?
actually, I didn't. It just kind of. I learned a long time ago. Somebody told me when you're looking for it, you ain't gonna find it. So I was looking a long time. So cause I hadn't seen a long time, and then I just decided to stop looking. I said if it's meant to be, it'll just whoever it is, I just run into them and it'll just happen. So
Wow.
How did you know, Alicia?
I got lucky. I would say it was probably like the first time we had an argument, and he actually stopped and listened to what I had to say. And he was able to tell me exactly, I heard what you said. I heard you. He wanted me to know that he really heard me and understood my point. And I was like, okay, this might work.
That's good.
That's crazy. That's great. That's great. Man.
So let me ask you this, Alicia. Now, okay, he has two. I want to talk about your childhood, like how you grew up.
Yeah.
I know a lot of your story, Alicia, but tell us, how you grew up, your parents, how you were raised, and then we'll go to Jake.
Okay, so I am the eldest of 3 girls. We were brought up in the church. We didn't know anything else but church. It was punishment when you couldn't go to church. So we lived for church. So my dad is a pastor. So we were going from Macedonia Baptist Church in Macon to Holly Grove Baptist Church, and even visited on L Street when I was younger. I mean, I just went all these different churches. We went about 3 times, I guess. We had early service, we had regular service, we had BTU, and something he wasn't quite used to. But church was my life growing up. I was in the Baptist household, and singing music is just a part of the Carter family. So that's pretty much how I came up.
Yeah, shout out to your parents. Your aunt who just passed, Miss Janice, your mother, and your dad were my first 3 Sunday school teachers. So I spent probably that's either 6 to 9 years in Sunday school with your family, and then your dad, who I will owe for the rest of my life, is the one who got honored to go out on our first date, December 11th, 1988. I tried for a couple of years, it wouldn't work, but he asked me to come preach for him when I was in college. I said, well, I'll come preach on the one condition: you get your piano player to go out with me. He said, I'll make it happen. And he made it happen. So at the end of the day, you on this show not because of you and Jake. It's called the JW Corner. So let's just go on and cut through the chase. So that's what it is. So shout out to JW.
Out of respect for my pastor, I went out with him.
Yes, you did.
Well, you know what? I'm glad y'all went out.
Yeah. Praise the Lord. So Jake, so she grew up in the household in church all the time from I remember when she was born. Her and my brother like a month apart. And like Alicia was born in December and Corey was born in January. And we,
Mercy.
yeah. We got pictures. I got pictures. My sister, my mom, one of them got pictures of them when they were literally, 2-3 months. So they literally came out the womb at the same time. You ever seen that picture, Alicia? You know what I'm talking about? So
Yes, it's the
yeah,
baby dedications.
yeah. So y'all got dedicated the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, you and Corey got dedicated the same day. So that's the history. So for people watching, and we're still family now. So Jake, you know her family. So tell us about your background, your upbringing.
I was born and raised down in my younger years. I was in Deerfield Beach, Florida. I got 2 brothers, 3 sisters. I'm the youngest boy of the boys. My parents weren't married. I was raised mostly by my grandmother and my great grandmother. My younger years, I stayed with my mama, my brothers and siblings with my grandmother. And then after a while, with my great grandmother, I had a cousin that was living with her because she was like, at that time, she had to be close to 80. And then he graduated from high school. He was going to college, and she needed somebody to come in to replace him. And I think she felt more comfortable with boys than girls because she raised 5 boys herself. She had 6 kids, 5 boys and a girl. So she felt, and I think all of her kids felt better if there was another man or a boy or soon to be man in the house with her. So I was with her for a while up until I moved to Tallahassee, where I went basically right after my 14th birthday. It was the summer of, I think it was the summer of 81. I went to visit on a vacation to visit my aunt and uncle who moved to Tallahassee like 2 years before when he got a new job up there. They lived in a town, South Florida, down like 15 minutes from Deerfield, Pompano. They moved up there, and with my 2 cousins who were guys, and my other cousin, she's a girl. They got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. The oldest was in college at Cookman, and so it was me and my cousin. We're the same age, so we were best friends before they moved. We were like 2 peas in a pod.
Yes.
And when I was in Deerfield, it was for me. I was wide open at that age. I stayed out even in 6th, 7th grade. I used to go home at 2 or 3 in the morning. I was doing stuff. Yeah, I was doing stuff that grown folks was doing. I was hanging out. I used to hang out with an adult. He was my idol for a while. He didn't do anything but I like motorcycle and cars and all that. He was a mechanic. He was a shade tree, and I was learning. I was basically just hanging out with him, helping him with do anything. Then I moved to Tallahassee because I went up there to visit, and I knew it wasn't gonna be good for me if I went back to South Florida. When I look back, I probably wouldn't be around right now because I think the biggest thing that shook me before I went up there, my brother's best friend got killed in a drive-by, and when they caught the guys, they found out that it was mistaken identity. And, he just happened to have the same kind of car the guy that they was looking for had. And that it tore my brother up, and it kind of shook me. And when I went up there, that was it. I kind of made my mind up before it was even time to go. I had already made my mind up. So.
It's strange because most 14-year-olds with no supervision, they like that. You know what I mean? So if I'm 14 and I can hang out when I want to hang out. So for you to have that kind of awareness is really strange because, so nobody push you to do it. Nobody say, come up here to stay out of trouble. Something in you just said, I can't do this.
Yep. And as a matter of fact, the conversation I had with my grandmother before I went up there, she was like, who knows? You might like it up there and decide to stay.
Wow.
And they came when I left with them. They were down there visiting. We got in the car. It's like a 7-8 hour trip, and I just kept thinking about that all the way up, and thinking about it ain't nothing's good is gonna come out of me going back to Deerfield, going back down there.
Wow.
It's, you know,
Wow.
um,
So
it
you
was-
really mature beyond your years, man. That's wonderful.
And your grandmother, I mean, to have that wisdom, you know, to have that wisdom, you know, to tell you that, because she saw something. She saw
Well,
what, you know, down the road before anybody else did. So she planted that seed. I mean, that's a phenomenal story.
I want you to talk to us about what your experience is like as a millennial in the entertainment industry.
I would honestly say that my gender probably played more of a factor than my age did. She's a female, so she probably don't really know, or she probably can't really, and so then they would just write me off. But we got that together.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
These movements like COVID, BLM, how do you think it's affected the Black dollar?
It's affected the Black dollar, especially with COVID-19, where so many people have lost their jobs. And I don't think people knew to the extent of the loss it was going to be. It's a bit devastating, but I don't say it's the end of the world. I definitely try to help people get on the right track so when the next COVID comes, you're together.
Let me ask you this. So I know Alicia's dad is like, can be a straight clown. So, Jake, how was it when she took you home and you go into the Carter family? How did they take to you? How did that initial meeting or the initial relationship, how did that go?
The first time I met the family, they invited me over for dinner. When I pulled up, Jennifer was riding her bike in the front of the thing, and she ran to me and said, "Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm the baby." And then I went in. Her dad, he kind of accepted me right off. It was like we were almost like we already knew each other. But Mama, yeah, I tease her till this day. I say, "You ain't even like me when you first met me." I tell her that right to this day, and she just say, "No, that ain't true. That ain't true." I say, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is."
That's the weirdest. That's the weirdest thing to me. That's so weird to me because she is like
the sweetest, most
it's
quiet.
like an angel, like the most.
Cause you anemic.
No, yeah. Well, the thing, you know how you
pick up.
You can pick up, you can sense something. Yeah, you just. His vibe was, "Oh yeah. I might have me a son-in-law." Her vibe was, "I don't know about this one right here."
So what do you think it was? What do you think it was?
Maybe it could have been the age difference. She probably, because I was at that time I was 30 something and you were 20, 24. So, and I guess she felt that I had been out there and I experienced much more than the church girl right here. So I don't know, and that she really don't know if Lisa could actually trust me. Was there a trust? She didn't know enough about to trust me, or what kind of person I was, or who I was, and all that. Because in Macon, I didn't have any relatives up here this way. My closest relatives lived in Atlanta, and it was just an uncle that lived up there. So I really didn't know. I had a friend who lived in Atlanta, and that was pretty much everybody I knew in Georgia. So.
But now you and Mama.
Yeah. Now. Yeah.
What do you think it was, Alicia?
Well, at first, I think they thought that he was imaginary. because like like I told them about him and everything, and when I told them, you know, he still didn't come around yet. You know, he didn't come around. So they were like, you know, I think her main thing was like, yeah, we heard about you, but you never came. That was part of it. And then maybe the age difference. But once he won over my grandmother, I think my mama and Auntie Janice and everybody, like now, like they'll take Jake before they take me.
Can't do no wrong.
He can do no wrong.
That's good. So how was it when you met his family?
So I met all his siblings. I met his brothers and sisters, his cousin siblings as well, and close friends, and we all hit it off really, really, really well. But his aunt that picked up on raising him in Tallahassee, I give you a short story. Okay, remember I said we were working at Dillard's, and finally I got the phone number, right? He gave me the number. He said, call me, you know. So I called him one day after 11 a.m. and a chick answered the phone. Like a chick that sounded like she was my age. So I said, So I said, do I have the right number? And that's what I'm thinking in my head. And so, okay, so I was stunned. And I said, is he home? And she was like, no, but he'll be back, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't hear anything else after that conversation. I just hung up the phone. So I told him about it, and I said, you know, you asked me to call you, and then a chick answered your phone, like at your apartment. Like, what's that? Do you have a girlfriend? What's really going on? So he said, no, it's nothing like that, or whatever. He was like, nah, call me again. So a couple days later, I called him, and here's another female with a different voice answering the telephone. So I'm a little, you know, perturbed. I'm a little flustered. I'm just like, okay. I said, well, he asked me to call him. I said, who is this? So the response I got back was, this is his mother. Who is this? So, that was the way I met his aunt.
Oh my God.
So I had to pick up my face off the floor, and then I couldn't tell her the reason why I was upset, because then that would be putting him out there. So I was just like, I apologize. I am so sorry. You know, and that was the end of it. And then I think I met her like that same week in person. So I apologized again, but she did not hold it against me at all. And I told her after the fact what that was all about. And of course, she understood what was going on. So, but me and his family, we all get along. We get along well. But that's how I met his aunt in Tallahassee.
So what about his uncle? Jake, was he like your dad? Was he like that father figure for you? Because I know you mentioned your mom, your grandmom, your great-grandmom. Who was your like father?
Well, when I was living in Deerfield, it was all my uncles. You feared the uncles, basically. My dad lived in Deerfield, but you know, he had a whole other family they didn't even live that far from where we were living. I just, you know, it was just one of those things that, you know, I got other siblings, but with him, I got like 3 other brothers. Well, because my daddy still was having babies while I was in college. So I got 3 brothers that I know about and a sister. But, you know, he would give me do anything for me. I just, you know, if I needed something, I could always ask him for it. I just called him and he would do whatever. He actually bought me my first 2 cars. So yeah, I mean, he was there if I needed him. But but the fear came from my uncles. Now, my uncle that I was living with in Tallahassee, he played no games. He was known in Pompano as King Davis, and you didn't mess with King Davis.
And that is his name.
That's his name. Yeah, so he was a disciplinarian. He didn't mind putting hands on you. He used to keep a belt in his nightstand. I was luckily he only got me twice. But yeah, I've seen him. It used to be the thing at the house, and he gonna beat everybody in the house. Ain't nobody gonna laugh at nobody. So that made sure nobody else did nothing to get everybody else in trouble. But that's where most of that was. But see, my uncles lived, when I was in Deerfield, they lived in different cities. So, at night, there was, you talking about a kid living with his 80-year-old grandmother. I used to leave the house on my bike and, come back whenever, come back when I'm hungry, or come back late at night, or late at night. Or, sometimes I would leave and not come back at all, and they would be looking for me, wondering what happened to me. So I went over to my cousin's house somewhere else, or somebody else. Yep. Until I moved.
It's strange. It's hear that story. My nephew, one of my nephews, when he was about 12, 13, started that same path. Joined a gang, and I wanted him to come live with me. Smart as a whip, and he came to stay with us or something. I wanted to keep him, and because I saw he was going down a bad path. So he came up here with us, and just thrived, was doing well, and yet when it was time to stay to get him back in school, his mom, my sister, rather than let us have him, she decided,
I want him to come home.
I want him to send him back home. And I think, to this day, that kind of bothers both of us, because we know he made some choices, some decisions with his life. A lot of his potential, and we know God is in control of everything, but we just think he could have thrived and done a whole lot more had she just, released him. And so it's just,
I think that's a good thing for parents.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to, you have to make decisions that are best for them. And I'm just, it's just a blessing that your grandmother even saw that to say you might like it and you might want to stay. She didn't say, I want him to come back. Your great grandmother, I miss him. I need somebody staying with me. Those were unselfish moves.
Yeah, absolutely. And now y'all got 2 boys yourself. Talk about those. Talk about them.
Well, you got Connor, he's 12, and Caden, he's 7.
Connor is as tall as you now.
He's about he's maybe 2 inches shorter than me now. He's almost we almost eye to eye.
Everybody's past me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't take much.
Yeah, sure
Wow.
did. Yeah.
12 and 7. Wow.
Did y'all ever want any girls?
No, it couldn't be like another one of me, and we would be able to live. It wouldn't be.
I feel you. I feel you.
It's been a great conversation. When you think about it, you kind of see a common thread in both stories. It's like, Jake, your great grandmother at 80 had to release you so you could thrive and become and be around something new. If not, you wouldn't be where you are. And Alicia, your mother, that's unbelievable to me. That Miss Connor, but loving her daughters, loving her daughters. But she had to release you so you can enjoy the relationship that you have now with your husband. So what would y'all say to parents now? There's a parent who's watching right now, who their daughter, son is getting ready to get married or something, or move out of town. What kind of advice? What would you say to those parents who can't let go. I think we out of time already. I can't believe we out of time. But I want y'all to give a word, and I need y'all to come back next week because I didn't get to have the question. So we're gonna close out with this one. What kind of advice would you give to the parents, who are in the shoes you were in, Alicia, when you met Jake, when you were, leaving Deerfield to go to Tallahassee? What kind of advice would you give to the parents about releasing their children so they can be what they got to be? What would you say to them?
I would say that, especially once, in my situation, once the child gets to a certain age where they know right from wrong and they can make their own decisions, because in the end, I think for my mom, what it was she has to live that life and I have to live mine. I can't live her life for her. So I think that was one thing that helped her to release me, was basically like, I need you to just go and be happy. And that's pretty much what I would encourage them, that, once they know right from wrong, you got to release them and let them make their own mistakes. You got to, and let them make their own choices, because some of those choices will turn out to be good decisions. So you just have to let them live their lives.
That's good. Jake, what'd you say?
For me, I would think the parents need to think what's best for that child. Don't think about, oh, I'm losing my baby. I'm not going to see my baby. I moved and I saw my parents, and I saw them whenever, they were a phone call away if I wanted to talk to them. I think overall you have to think about what's best for the future, for that child in their future. Even if it means, I'm not saying you give them up and you give them away. You do something and you make the decisions that's going to make them and benefit them later on down the road. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be there for them forever. So they got to learn how to survive. And also, I think by you going there, what makes me admire you even more as a man are those principles and everything that you learned when you were with King Davis in Tallahassee. The things that you do for our family, how you take care of us, how you respect me, how you teach the boys how to respect others as well. I think that if it were not for when you went to Tallahassee, you wouldn't have been able to give that to us. No, he was a good example. He was a great example. He didn't mess with his family. Most definitely didn't mess with his wife. And he took care. He just took care of the family. Not just the family in the house, the extended family. So he was basically the rock for the family for a long time.
Wow. That's good. This is great, man. This has been a great conversation. It's been very helpful, very inspirational. And I hope those who've been watching have been inspired. We're going to invite the McDonald's to come back part 2 because we didn't get to half the conversation. So they've consented to come back. We're going to close this session of Marriage Matters. Hope you had a hope-filled day and you got a daily dose of hope even through this broadcast, this show on today. We're going to close out. But on behalf of Andre and I want to thank y'all again for tuning in to Marriage Matters. Tune in next week, same time. Same channel. And always remember this: if you be good to God, God will be good to you. Until next time, peace.
Bye.